part of tonight is about the research proposal that we're all part of, and hopefully it's something that that you want to be part of. Hopefully you can see it at the back there. It's a partnership between Crown Prosecution Service, Simon Afzal Solutions and University Centre of Blackburn College. Now Simon is an ex-student of ours. I just forgot that, I shouldn't have forgot, she was awarded an MBE a few years ago for her service to the community. And so, we are grateful for Simon for pushing this institution to do a project. The CPS have run a small project in Cumbria last year, but nothing at the level that we're hoping to do. It is a new venture for us. What we'd like tonight to be is we're going to pass some of the observation forms around and get yourselves to look at them and point out if there's anything you don't understand, if there's anything anything that we need to do to change the forms. Now, basically, what the thing is that we need to do is basically. Juror 13 is the name of the project. As you all know, there's 12 members of the jury, so we have been asked to play the role of a hypothetical 13th member of the jury. Now, by law, you are not allowed to conduct direct research on jury members. It's the Contempt of Court Act. It's not allowed. So, arguably, one of the most important stages in the criminal justice system is that we don't know a lot about it. So we don't know why juries make the decisions that they do. No one knows. Now, basically, what the idea of being a juror 13 is that you observe everything that the jury observe, and then you write a report, or you fill in these forms, and we'll see what comes from that. It says there, in the second paragraph, we're not seeking to determine any predetermined hypotheses. In the students of criminology, you know there are issues with rape and sexual offences trials. The conviction rate is very, very different. Even though you've got kind of broadly similar kinds of incidents, conviction rates are different. Now, we've got to strike any kind of preconceived ideas that we've got in our heads as to why that might be. The CPS is insistent on us, adopting an open strategy, and plenty of people are really, really excited about this because this is a new kind of project. As I say, apart from Cumbria doing a really small project, it's not really been done before. So, a second line is, we want them to let the data speak for itself. So there's not a right way of doing this. Just as if you do get involved, you would be asked to attend court for the 2 or 3 days where the trial takes place. Courts are open to the public. We're allowed to do this. We're not breaking any laws. And obviously, the CPS, if we were doing anything that was unethical, then the CPS will obviously prevent that, as it were. So basically, as I say, the idea is the juror 13 sees everything that the jury then see. We've got some forms that will need to be filled in. Now, basically, the people we've got a steering group that are behind this project. Now, Nazir Afzal is the chief of the Crown Prosecution Service in this region. He's often in the media. In fact, he was in the paper last week. Obviously, the CPS, I've had a few controversial incidents, if you think of Rotherham and a few other, sort of incidents in the past. So Nazir is, as I say, he is the head person in this area. So he's really behind it. He's been to see us. He wants us to do it. So basically, what we've got to do is we've got to observe for a 3-month period that's starting soon. We've got to observe every rape and sexual offences trial that lasts less than a week. Now, some of them can last for more than a week if there's more than one defendant. So we won't be observing those. The CPS, they do know how long a trial is going to take. Roughly, each trial gives an estimate of how many days. So we won't observe anything that's longer than a week. But as I say, we've got to, observe everything that a jury sees. And that is basically done. There is nothing more to it than that. But what we want to do now is go through the forms and get your opinion on the forms. The forms have been drawn up with a lot of the CPS have said some of the questions that they're really keen on. But anyway, we said that we'd give themselves to you and get your comments, and if there are any problems, we'll work on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort of pass, as I said, there's 6 forms in total that will need to be filled in. Now we're going to give sort of each one of the forms each, and hopefully get you to talk amongst yourselves to see if the forms make sense, basically.
Right, so we're going to set it out that each of you, there's different actual themes to the observation form. So not all of you are going to see every single one. We're giving you a certain section to it and hopefully get feedback. So what I would suggest is that you make notes, or if you have got any questions, do write it on so Phil and myself and the rest of the team can look at it. Another consideration, we recently had a meeting with Charlotte Rimmer from the CPS, and we actually was able to put some of the questions that students themselves had asked. One of the questions was in terms of, can we have 2 people observing? And in theory, they're saying that's absolutely fine. So if it was the case of you think that you would benefit from somebody else with you, we can do that. Even better if you don't need that. What is very good with Charlotte is that she's been able to communicate with all the judges and all the relevant persons within the court services to know who you are and who you're representing. So hopefully when you get there, you'll also be instructed by them too. So they are waiting for this to happen. Okay.
Sorry.
So when we talk about the 3-month period, what they've also said, we would see this as interim in terms of the 3-month period, but they are very excited about us continuing it and also extending the areas. So we could also be looking at Carlisle and Manchester, but initially we're doing it for a 3-month period. Okay?
And so just to emphasise that the 13th member of the jury, you do have to follow the rules of being on a jury. In other words, don't look up the case on Facebook, follow the instructions from the judge, and literally sort of play the role of being on the jury, but you're just outside that situation. The average length of these trials is around about 3 days. Now, if that does affect you, if you're a daytime student, please then, if that means that you miss any classes during the daytime, then please go to the nighttime courses. Hopefully we've got enough flexibility with the provision that we've got that we can cover this. It is a big ask, there's no point saying otherwise, but hopefully we've got enough interest that we can pull it off.
Okay, that would also be the same, because Phil was talking about Facebook, but it also means in ordinary conversation we can't speak about it. So be very aware in terms of talking to, not just in terms of anything social networking, but also in terms of ordinary conversations. You have to treat yourself, and you will also be mirrored in terms of you will be provided with a jury summons once we get the exact dates. We know that we're looking to start it very early December, so you will be given a jury summons with that. So do pay attention to the protocol and the code of conduct, because all of that is also included for you as a juror 13. We can't have anything that detriments the ethics of the trial.
Yeah, so whilst Belinda's giving those out, the first one, the F1, so we've got F1 to F6 are the forms that need to be filled in. And they say, this is what we want your comment on. We're not showing you F1 because it's not really, there's nothing to say really. F1 is where you record the case information. So your name, the defendant's name, the dates, the charges. Now this bit here, your verdict. So the CPS are really interested to know what your verdict would be as a result of that case. And then the next line, the actual verdict. So that's the first sheet. So there's nothing, I don't think, anything controversial on the first sheet.
Right, so you're now F4.
If we got a summons, an actual summons, we didn't work the phone.
You could try. Depends how much they think. Yes, so if you get Peter and Paul,
So I don't know if you four could move up and then as you've already discuss it.
so you can
Because I was sometimes on Wednesday,
So it might be an idea. Some of you move to this you move down, and then if it's the case of no, but then you need to do it so it's practical. So if you move down then if you move down to that row, you can go
Sorry to interrupt whilst you're just looking at your form. Now, just to make it clear that these forms will be completed after the trial is finished. Now, what we're kind of suggesting is if there could be issues in taking notes in a trial that's a very sensitive case, because some of you know, they are going to be sensitive cases. Some judges might not approve of people taking notes in the public gallery. So we're going to have to. The usher will tell us whether taking notes are acceptable. Now, basically, what we thought of is, because obviously there's going to be a lot to remember, is that we're going to have these kind of an observation sheet, a really blank observation sheet, whereby you can write down your thoughts about what actually happened, what you felt, how the story is going. There's no right or wrong answer to this, because you're a member of the jury. It's whatever it is, it is what you think. So basically, these forms you will fill in at the end of the trial, and as I say, these will hopefully help you to fill those forms in.
Yeah, what's currently being asked at the moment by Charlotte Rimmer is that she's going to be speaking to the judges that are involved to see if they've got any issues surrounding us filling out something whilst we're in court. So what we do know for sure, those forms that are in front of you, F2 to F6, will be used outside of the courtroom. They can even be used during a break or a lunchtime. But what we don't know as of yet, and it may be down to individual cases, whatever the judge is actually accepting as ethical or unethical, that will be then used in terms of this form, the observation form. Okay? So these forms that you've got in front of you will be used after the case or during a break or a lunchtime in terms of whilst the trial is happening. If the judge accepts it and agrees, we can also be using these notes.
Yeah, I would say we don't want a huge time delay between between your filming within 24, 48 hours. Whereas these, we imagine that these could be filled in maybe when the court's on dinner or when there's a break in the proceedings, something like that. You can just jot down your thoughts, what you're feeling, and hopefully the questions that you've got in front of you might hopefully help you sort of think about the kind of things that the CPS and the other partners in the project want you to be thinking about. So if you just have a look at the forms, please, and any issues at all, seriously, anything, we need your feedback. So please let us know.
Is there a reason why
Cafe Corner, Magistrates Cafe. Although there is the issue so they built it, I know they built the grassy and so on. Well, I mean, we can't pass it on. I mean, because by law you're allowed to get it, so we can't pass it on that. No, but you could appeal to the employers because,
So remember, please turn round to your fellow colleagues, because a lot of you have got the same thing. So will be turning round to that row. Okay, Lindsay, so your row is turning round to that row. You've got the same.
Oh yes, so there is something on the back, and the F6.
Linda, we won't be bothered. Research. Are we all involved?
Yeah? No, we wouldn't exclude
The boxes.
But they're part of enhancing their CV, doing something that nobody else has been done before, knowing that everything that's been published by the CPS, UCBC or any journal as a consequence of that is going to have criminology attached to it. So, yes, I haven't got this time. Do I want to know because I want this to be relevant? So we're trying to make it more unique from
when you want to have a few cases, I can sometimes see, especially
I mean,
said the girls, if you got a guy who's in the dark, if he's good looking and he's pleasing to the jury, he stands a better chance against someone who's guilty. He didn't prove the guy. Would you, if you were told to
That's
They might even let you do a forum, which I'm trying to get his name to
Right, sorry to interrupt. What we'd like to do is, if you, any comments that you've got, please write them on the forms, but make it so we can read them, please. And yeah, because I said we're nearly running out of time, so.
So if it's something that you haven't got a comment as such, please at least identify just a tick off the top of it, because we want to be able to evidence that there has been a discussion and there has been a collaboration between us. You know that big NHS place over there? No, If we collect it like F2, on the same way, so I'm doing F2. So that's because F1 was just
research project. We've just got some ideas.
When you stood up, because then we were listening to you, not back then. We were listening to you. also when
It's great because my boss is really.
You got your form?
yeah, there's still a few down there.
All right, thank you. Have you ticked it? Not based on the amendments, just so we can show that you.
UCBC.
Yes, just when you finish with them, sort of pass it here.
It doesn't have to be.
More than one day.
Oh, they'll be like 88.
Would you be able to pick what church you're able to do? So are you doing it all or you're not?
Well, you'll be able to pick dates,
Right.
but in
Yeah.
terms of cases.
No, I mean like
Oh, yeah. We
that.
can do that. As soon as I've got what dates, once we sort out this, it's being filled in with the minutes. Once we've done that, she's seen that, she's going to hand over what dates.
Right. I'm just thinking where I can pick that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you say Tuesday.
I only want
Oh, well, that's that.
Mine's ends in February and after February.
Have we got all the M3?
Rational theory, excuse me. You forgot rational theory. Calm down.
Okay, ring Monday, alright.